Hello, everyone, and welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host, Logan Landers, and today we're going to be talking about a very wonderful running back right now, currently for the Indianapolis Colts, Mr. Jonathan Taylor. But y'all know I can't do this by myself. I got to bring on my dude, one of the most knowledgeable Colts experts out there on the Facebook groups and everywhere, man, Jay Stevens. Welcome to the show, Jay.
Hey, Logan, man, how you doing, man? Glad to be with you today.
Hey, man, it's awesome. It's Monday. We got more football tonight. Had a loaded games yesterday, man. But I'm ready to talk about Jonathan Taylor. I know a guy that you're very highly touted on, and I know that a lot of the Colts fans are really excited about as well. So let's talk about the young man. So as we know, with Jonathan Taylor, he was 5'10", 226 pounds. He attended Salem High School in New Jersey. And some of his stats, man, 386 carries, 4,015 yards. A 10.4 average as well. So he was averaging a first down with each carry. He had 167.3 yards per games as well with 44 touchdowns on the ground. Whew. So he signed with the Wisconsin Badgers, but he originally was going to go to Rutgers, but he pulled out the last minute to go to Wisconsin. He's also recruited by Boston College and Harvard as well. So we know that he's no slouch, in the classroom as well as on the field. This guy is multi-talented. What did you think of him as a high school athlete?
A guy that when he's on the field, you have to watch out for him and watch out for his elusiveness, his power, and just anything that can happen. When you think about him being recruited, it's kind of interesting that those three schools that are on the graphic there, they're all in the Northeast, in the Jersey area where he's from. So a lot of kids, they may want to stay local. They may not want to go away. You may say that to the recruits, to schools, and then they back away from recruiting you because you want to stay in your local area, your locale. In the Northeast of the country, college hotbed is not what you describe when you think about that part of the country. Now, with him going to Wisconsin, it's amazing because Wisconsin they always find a way to get top backs, guys that produce just like him in high school. Then they find a way for them to produce the same way in college at the University of Wisconsin. But yeah, when you think of 10.4 yards a carry, it's almost like giving him the ball, handing it off. It's an automatic first down every time he touches it. And that's just how elusive, how amazing it is to watch him play, even back in his high school days.
Yeah, if you're averaging a first down for each carry, you're doing something really good. And we know that, in high school, he was pretty good. But let's go into his college stats here, where he really just balled out and really took the world by storm, I would say. So he went to Wisconsin, as I said. Let's talk about his stats year by year. So his freshman year, he ran for 1,977 yards with 13 touchdowns and a 6.6 average. Not too bad coming in as a freshman, averaging almost 2,000 yards and 13 touchdowns as well. But it only got better, man. His sophomore year, he cracked that 2,000-yard plateau, 2,194 yards, 16 touchdowns, and a 7.1 average. So just improving and improving. But his junior year, his final year at college, is where he really kind of cemented his legacy as one of the best running backs in the league. 2,003 yards with 21 touchdowns and a 6.3 average. So the average dipped a little bit, but the touchdowns, man, they just absolutely skyrocketed.
Yeah, they did. They did. Him in college at Wisconsin, it was almost them hoping that they were going to get what they had gotten from so many running backs previously. You think about Melvin Gordon, you're going to go back about 20 years to Ron Dane and all the guys in between. They were hoping and believing they would get a guy that would be that good for at least one season in college football. Now you get 3 years of production like that, 3 years of I'll round up. Basically 2,000 yards. It was 1977. I'll round up. Basically 2,000 yards all 3 years that he played. 10-plus touchdowns, 6+ yards per carry average every single time. He exceeded expectations, which are already extremely high when you're thinking about what you can do and what the mold is of a running back at Wisconsin. Sturdy guy, small guy. They say built low to the ground. That's basically another word for saying short. I mean, he's a short running back. So he's a short guy, but the 225-pound frame, 26-pound frame, that's durable. And the offense that Wisconsin has, they get those offensive linemen. They're big, they're wide, they're tall, and they open up holes for you. And Jonathan Taylor found a way to not open up holes, to use his vision to see the hole and then go right through it and basically just make defenses look silly his entire time at Wisconsin.
Yeah, he definitely excelled at Wisconsin, man. He got a lot of people looking at him. He was even predicted going into his junior year. He's like, man, this guy could maybe be a Heisman winner.
Yeah.
Now, we saw, what happened the last year with, all these great players coming in the league. But, man, Jonathan Taylor really stood out as one of the top running backs, I felt, going into the draft. And the Colts were able to get a steal with this guy. I think he's going to be one of the best backs in the league in a couple of years. But, man, let's talk about him a little bit right now. So, he is the two-time Doak Walker winner, which is for the best running back in college. He's also a two-time unanimous first-team All-American as well. And some of the things that I like about him, and like you said, he's not the tallest guy in the world, but he's a very strong runner. He's got a very durable frame. Looks like a tank almost, the way he's built, just all of his muscles. He's just a really strong dude. He's also got, sneaky speed. He's got some good burst speed. He can get, like I said, he can pop through those holes. And once he gets out in open field, you can forget about it, man. He can just go to the hole whenever. He's also really good at pass protection as well, something that, a lot of coaches look at in running backs. If you can protect your quarterback, you're going to be more highly touted to get on the field and get more playing time as well. And he's really good at being a good pass protector with his strong frame. He's drafted in the second round to the Colts. And, man, this guy's got a high ceiling for me. So I got another question for you, man. Since you are an avid Colts fan, how do you think this guy will stack up against the other running backs he's going up against? I know he's got a few more carries going on this season so far as opposed to the other running backs in the room. But how do you think he's going to shake out for the rest of this season and beyond?
I firmly believe that, barring any injury, he stays healthy. Colts keep this team formatted and formulated the way that it currently is. I truly believe Jonathan Taylor has a chance to be one of the best running backs in the NFL at some point. Now, I know he's a young guy. I don't want to jump the gun and say it's going to happen. There's a lot that has to happen currently in the NFL right now. Just talk about some ways that he plays right now. When running the ball, he's still getting used to the speed of the NFL, which is normal. It's expected. No preseason, not even a couple games, no nothing. So game number 3, he's now the lead guy. It's not like he's the backup with Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack got hurt. So yep. Jonathan Taylor is the lead guy getting all those carries. He's shown some flashes of adjusting really quickly, honestly, because the NFL speed is nothing to sleep over, to be a slouch. I mean, you have to be on your P's and Q's and be able to read and react at a high level, at a high clip, to be able to be a good back in the NFL. So he's still learning how to read the holes, react, knowing where the linebacker, how quickly they're going to fill the hole, where the defensive end, if he's going to be able to shield the outside. So you have to maybe just go inside of him. And he's learning all of that stuff right before us. So I really think that week 1 through week 4 of this year, we're going to see a lot of him that is just going to be getting his feet wet. Then weeks 5 through week 12, we may start to see him get a little bit better. Latter part of the year, the last quarter of the year, I believe that he'll start to show some flashes of some good signs, some more flashes. But really, year 2, year 3, year 4, you're going to see. I won't say you want to get the 2,000 yards plus that we got the sophomore year and junior year from Jonathan. I don't believe you're going to get that. Quarterback play and the way that running backs are and the way that defenses are. I don't believe that he's going to get that kind of production. But what I do believe is Jonathan Taylor is going to be a guy that is going to be potentially one of the best backs in the league. Just hoping he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. And you brought up a good point there. The NFL is definitely a quarterback league. And it brings me another question here. So, as we know, the Colts got Phillip Rivers this past offseason. They got him over from the Chargers after he was there for, it seems like, ages and ages, man. So, with the new quarterback in play, do you think the Colts are going to go with a more run-heavy offense or more pass-heavy with, that veteran Phillip Rivers? Who do you think they're going to go with?
Probably more run-heavy. I think it'll also be kind of a situational thing based off of who they're playing, how the game is flowing, and things like that. Week 1, you got a lot of pass. I mean, it was very, very odd to see Phillip Rivers throw for 46 passes in week 1 against the Jaguars when you have Marlon Mack, Jonathan Taylor behind you. But even if you go back and watch the schemes and the personnel groupings, that's what I was looking for at the Colts were utilizing. Jonathan Taylor was not the backup. He was a third-string running back, and I do truly believe that was because there was no preseason. And then week 2, a lot more run. He actually rushed for 100 yards in his first career start, which is amazing. Not so much. They get the same production yesterday, but I do think it'll be a lot of run. But it will very, very well be a situational thing based off the defense that they're playing, trying to exploit the holes of the other defense. Very similar to what we see from the New England Patriots, a Josh McDaniels style of offense. I don't know if there'll be so many checkdowns and short passes like you see with Josh McDaniels, Tom Brady, even Cam Newton. He's going to have to throw short passes because you don't want him throwing deep. He can't do what he used to do. I don't know if we get that whole thing, but a lot of run from the Colts. And now that could change next year and the year after. Let's say Phillip Rivers is gone after next year. Jacob Eason becomes a starter because I don't believe Jacoby Brissett will be the starter once again. That may change. It may say, we're going to be more pass heavy. Taylor, you're still the starting running back, but we got a young guy who has a phenomenal arm. We're going to utilize him while we can. Jonathan Taylor, save your body so you can actually have and last the entirety of your second contract with a team.
Yeah, I fully agree with you on that, man. And like you said, it'll be interesting to see because Phillip Rivers ain't going to be around for too much longer. And Jacob Eason's just kind of waiting in the wings. Like you said, man, we did a play profile of him a while ago, back when he got drafted. And he was very impressive. You know, he went to Georgia originally, and then he chose to go over to Washington. And yeah, I think the Colts really got their quarterback for the future in Eason. And I think, like you said, even though it always sucks to see injuries, that Marlon Mack injury, he's out for the year, and that kind of bumped up Taylor's spot, I believe. Like I said, going into the year, there was no preseason. There wasn't as many workouts like with everything going on in the world right now. So for him to already be impressing so far in this early year, it shows you that the talent is real. He just needs a little bit more time to, like you said, develop to get to the NFL speed. And that's hard. That's hard to teach. It's hard to come out of college, and then especially with no preseason and hardly any OTAs and whatnot. And for this guy to already be improving and showing his worth, man, this guy is going to be special. I fully believe he's going to be the running back for the future for the Colts, and it'll be interesting to see just how he progresses over the coming years. And I know you're ready to see it. I'm ready to see it. All the Colts fans over on our Facebook groups, man, they're ready to see it. And I'm hyped for this guy. So any final words on Jonathan Taylor before we get something very special involving you, my man?
Not really. I'm watching him very, very closely. I always try to analyze people very, very with every single detail, especially players like him who I'm already high on. A 100-yard game in your first start, great. It's amazing. You got to show me some more. You got to improve. You got to get better. So I'm still analyzing him and trying to keep the microscope style of view when I watch his play. But I don't know if there's a better situation for him to be in, where he comes in, veteran quarterback, guy who's probably going to be a future Hall of Famer, great offensive line you can trust, and teammates around you that will help you build confidence literally in yourself. So the situation is good for him. Just really curious and really excited to see what else he does. Hopefully this coming Sunday, the Colts can knock off the Bears or give the Bears their first loss. Not sure how they came back against the Falcons yesterday, but Atlanta does what Atlanta does.
Yeah, look, man, we're from Georgia, so we know all the struggle that's going on right now. But look, that's a different video for a different day. But look, man, we got one more thing coming up. Jay, why don't you let the fine people at home let them know where they can find you at, and tell them about yourself, what you do.
Okay. You can find me on Twitter at jstevens07, spelled like it is right there with a PH. Host of the Jay Stevens podcast. A new episode dropped this morning talking about the Lakers and college football and baseball. And I generally have 4 topics every episode when I go solo. Every Monday I come out with a solo episode. Every Thursday, primarily on Thursdays, there's a guest and interview style that comes out there. Go back and check it out. I've been able to interview some great, phenomenal guests. A couple to name. No, man, I don't name drop, but able to interview Ian Eagle previously earlier this summer. Then also Mr. Greg Doyle of the Indianapolis Star, sports columnist, came on for my 100th episode. You mentioned I'm a big Colts fan. Recently got teamed up with Full Press Coverage. I'm hosting their Full Press Colts podcast. That comes out 3 times a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. A new episode dropped this morning. Recorded that last night after the Colts dominating win over the Jets, 36-7. Those are just a couple things that I do appearances like this with you. I really appreciate this. This is fun, and enjoy being able to chop it up and talk sports with other people around the country, around the world. We don't know each other before this, but we have a mutual love for one thing, and it's fun being able to talk to new people about something that both of us love.
Yeah, man. Hey, you've hit it right on the head, man. And I think that's a great way to end the show, man. So without further ado, guys, we've been talking about Jonathan Taylor, the Colts' highly touted running back, with my esteemed guest host, Jay Stevens, man. Thanks for coming on the show, Jay. And we will be seeing you guys in the very near future. But before we go off, man, be sure to like this video, comment, share. We're on Facebook. We're broadcasting live right now. We're also broadcasting live on YouTube as well, also on Twitch. And also be sure to check out our podcast that's going to be coming out very soon. It's out on Spotify. It should be on Apple in the near future. The 100 Yards Football Sports Talk Radio podcast, guys. Thanks to Believe Podcast Network for hooking all this up for us, guys. And we'll be talking to you guys in the very near future.